Chapter 1. The apartment smells like orange zest and clean linen. Sophia's favorite kind of calm. The kind you can arrange with your hands. She moves a brass lamp 2 inches to the left, steps back, eyes the way the bulb warms the velvet sofa, then nudges the throw so its fringe falls in a neat, photogenic arc. Her pitch is tomorrow, a boutique lobby drawn from light and honesty. She whispers the line to herself, trying it on, honest spaces. It feels brave in her mouth. "Babe, where's my navy tie?" Idris calls from the bedroom. His voice has that soft doctor's authority, the one that makes people step aside in crowded corridors and, apparently, in their home. She finds the tie draped over a dining chair, loops it around his collar, fingers quick and practiced. Up close he smells like eucalyptus and something sharper under it, hospital air that never quite leaves. "You're late," she teases. "Last minute on call," he says, kissing her forehead without breaking eye contact with the mirror. They change the schedule again. Layla sweeps in with a ring light, and the kind of breeze only influences Carrie. Hair glossy, smile automatic. "Okay, angels, give me a weird thriving clip. 120 seconds, all hot, no cringe." She props the phone against a stack of color samples, framing the room. Sophia, the throw, obsessed. Idris, chin down, soft jaw. "Ready." They stand shoulder to shoulder. Sophia lets the camera find them like a painting. She knows her angles, knows Idris's dimples trigger comments. Layla counts down with her fingers. They laugh on cue, the light painting their skin a forgiving gold. It's all so easy it could be a lie. "Perfect," Layla chirps, tapping to save. "Engagement will jump." "Sophia, talk about your pitch." Sophia lifts the mood board. Gentle woods, matte brass, daylight like water. "I want a lobby that doesn't lie to you," she says. "No tricks. You see what's there." "Bold," Layla says. The internet loves bold. Idris's phone hums on the counter, screen face up. A calendar block turns red, a name she doesn't recognize. He reaches for it without looking, flips it over in one smooth motion. Consult," he says, tying his shoes. "Could be nothing. Could be all night." Sophia hands him his stainless travel mug, the one with the scratch base from too many rounds in the dishwasher. Her thumb catches on a faint smear along the rim. Lipstick, barely there, a shy ember of a color she doesn't own. Not her coral, not the winter rose Layla gifted last year. A cooler shade, with the tiniest flick of glitter that winks when the light hits it. Her hand pauses. "It's nothing," she tells herself. Layla is always swatching, pigment transfers. The ring light is unforgiving. Maybe some gloss migrated when they hugged hello. She rolls the mug in a tea towel and rubs, casual, like she's polishing a fingerprint. The smear lightens but doesn't vanish, as if it's grown roots in steel. Layla chats on, angling the camera for a cutaway of Sophia's mood board. "Say honest spaces again, softer this time. People like aspirational honesty, not lecture honesty." Sophia obliges. Idris pats his pockets, wallet, keys, phone. "Don't wait up," he says, smiling, eyes already elsewhere. "I'll text." He moves to kiss her. Instinct nudges her face a degree off-center, enough that the kiss lands on cheekbone instead of mouth. He doesn't notice, or he pretends not to. Door, hinge, hallway A. He's gone. Silence settles, then pops when Layla exhales a low whistle. "Here's a machine," she says, setting down the ring light. "And you two are sickeningly cute." The comments are going to be feral. Sophia laughs because it's the correct response, because her body knows the choreography. She puts the travel mug in the sink, fingers tracing the place where metal meets plastic. The lipstick shadow lingers like a bruise under makeup. "You okay?" Layla asks, too quickly. "You got that face." "What face?" "The I'm editing reality in my head face." Layla grins, disarming. "Which? Like, relatable." Sophia opens the cabinet, takes down dish soap. Here's the label crackle. It's nothing. Soap blooms into tiny citrus suns under the tap. She scrubs, focusing on circles, on pressure. The smee thins to a whisper, then a hint, then a ghost. Still there if you know where to look. Her phone buzzes. A text from Idris. Love you. Don't stress. You'll crush tomorrow. The words land like feathers and then like stones, each one heavier after the last. She types love you too and doesn't send it. Layla wanders to the balcony, filming the evening city for B-roll, humming. The apartment, all stage sincerity, glows back at Sophia. Honest spaces. She pictures the lobby she promised to make, a room that refuses shadows. The sink water spirals away, carrying glitter she can't see. A knock. Not the neighbor. Too polite. A faint tap-tap that might be the air in the pipes or the building settling or her heartbeat mishearing itself. When she looks down to close the dishwasher, something dark slips from the hook of Idris's coat. A stray thread. No, a paper corner. She crouches, pinches it free. A hotel matchbook, navy, embossed with an Art Deco wave. The front door clicks in the hall. Someone else's, not theirs. Distant steps, then quiet. Layla's hum softens outside like a soundtrack sliding under a scene. Sophia turns the matchbook over in her palm. The cardboard warms, and with it the room cools. She doesn't open it. Not yet. The lipstick ghost gleams on steel like a tiny, stubborn star. Chapter 2, First Hairline Crack. The matchbook sits in Sophia's palm like a living thing, its spine sharp against her skin. She tucks it into her apron pocket before Layla steps back inside, carrying the city's dusk with her. Your skyline is giving luxury vibes tonight, Layla hums, scrolling through her footage. Seriously, these clips will eat. Sophia forces a smile, wipes the counter, pretends normal. But her eyes keep pulling to the sink, where the travel mug rests, water drying around a faint ghost of glitter. 2 details now, not one. Her pulse marks them like pins on a map. Idris's absence stretches the evening thin. Sophia wanders into their bedroom, the glow of the bedside lamp catching on the navy jacket he left behind. She folds it, smoothing fabric into obedience, but her hand brushes the inside pocket. A sliver of paper slides out. A boutique receipt, velvet box, diamond pendant. Total, enough to sting. Her chest lifts, waiting for the memory to click. But nothing. He hasn't given her a necklace, not in months. She hears herself laugh quietly, a sound too brittle. Retirement gift, he'll say. Colleague farewell, maybe. Perfectly explainable. She lays the receipt flat on the dresser. The edges ripple like it's breathing. The next day begins bright, ordinary. Idris leaves early, stethoscope looped casual around his neck, a kiss brushed over her hairline. Late case today. Don't stay up, he says. Sophia nods, fingers clutched around her coffee mug, watching his car slip into the rush hour stream. By afternoon, she's rearranging sample boards for her pitch when the doorbell rings. Imid, her younger brother, leans in the frame with a pizza box, grinning. Designer fuel, he jokes, kicking off his sneakers. They eat on the balcony, crust crunchy in the cool air. Imid teases about her obsessiveness, but then his gaze sharpens. You okay, Soph? You've got, I dunno, a storm face. She hesitates, then pulls the receipt from her notebook. His eyebrows jump. This ain't for you. No. Then who? Idris says, it's probably nothing. A gift for work. Retirement. Promotion. Imid cuts her off. Then why didn't he say that already? Soph, people who lie, they buy silence with half-truths. Her stomach knots. I can't jump to. Don't jump. Just look harder. That night, Layla drops by unannounced with a tripod. We need to shoot a casual Q&A couple vibes. Sponsor will love it. She arranges ring light, makes small talk, too bright, too easy. Sophia plays along until Idris's phone buzzes on the table. Midnight messages, familiar glow. She glances, just a flicker, room 812. The text burns across her retinas. Wyke, Idris mutters, flipping the screen over. Family of a patient. ICU drama. Don't stress. Her chest caves, air shallow. Imid's words echo, look harder. Later, in the dark, Sophia lies awake while Idris's breathing evens into sleep beside her. She stays at the ceiling, every shadow stretching longer than it should. The receipt waits in her drawer, the matchstick in her apron, the lipstick smear in the sink. 3 threads now, weaving together, and she knows, sooner or later, they'll pull tight enough to strangle the picture she thought was her life. Chapter 3. Messages After Midnight. The ceiling holds the dark like water. Sophia lies on her side, watching the blue pulse of the router breathe against the wall. Idris's exhale is steady, measured, the kind of sleeping rhythm that sounds like innocence. Her phone is a flat moon in her hand. She doesn't mean to unlock it. She does. A bubble of earlier texts. Then, another vibration. Not his phone this time. Hayes. A banking alert from a shared card. Timestamp 12:17 a.m. Parking garage across from St. Jude Medical. Small amount. Proof of movement. Her skin prickles. She turns toward him. You said ICU, she whispers to the darkness, like the room can carry the words to wherever his awake life really is. He doesn't stay. The matchstick in the kitchen drawer clicks in memory. The receipt in the dresser hums. The ghost of glitter at the sink refuses to fade in her mind's eye. She slides from bed. The floor sighs. In the living room, city light folds in through the windows, soft, hushed, conspiratorial. Her thumb hovers over Layla's name. She hates that she presses it. The phone rings twice. Tell me you're calling because you love the edit, Layla murmurs, voice cotton soft with sleep and sugar. Or because you have cookies. I need a drive, Sophia says. To St. Jude. A beat. Now. Now. Layla doesn't ask why. She arrives in an oversized hoodie and perfume like a floral dare, hair twisted into a high knot, face half makeup, half moonlight. We're making terrible choices, she says, grin quick, keys in hand. Which is amazing content, but you're not on camera. Don't worry. I'm not filming, Sophia says. Sure you're not, Layla sings, and they go. The streets are emptier than they should be. Or maybe that's just how midnight always looks when you're chasing a feeling. The hospital rises like a clean promise at the end of the block, glass ribs lit from within. Layla kills the music and coasts the last stretch. Plan? She asks. Look, Sophia says. They circle the staff garage first. Row after row of sleeping metal. Idris's sedan, navy, subtle, should be easy to spot by the cracked taillight sticker she keeps meaning to nag him about. It isn't hay. Maybe he parked street side, Layla offers, too quickly positive. ER bays, quick access. They loop to the ambulance entrance. 2 orderlies smoke under a jaundiced lamp. A paramedic tells a joke that doesn't land. A stretcher wheels by, blanket mountain empty. Layla kills the headlights, then flicks them on again for cover. See him, she whispers. Sophia doesn't. She sees her own reflection in the window, eyes wide, mouth set. On his spaces, she thinks, and the phrase tastes like rust. Across the intersection, another building stays back, an older hotel with respectable carpets and quiet secrets, the kind of place that pretends it doesn't exist. The canopy light is a warmer gold than the hospital's clinical glow. Taxis nose in and out like fish in a tide. Sophia's phone remembers a message she never erased. Room 812? Pull over, she says. They park under a tree where leaves use them as gossip shields. The hotel doors breathe people in and out. Grief-tired families, traveling salesmen, a woman in a sequined dress holding her heels like she's done with pretending. Midnight becomes 1 o'clock, then something thinner. Layla checks her watch. Sophia doesn't move. Then, Idris. He walks fast, head down, coat open to the night. Even at a distance, she recognizes the hospital gate, a man who owns hallways. He hesitates at the revolving door, as if choosing a version of himself, then steps through. Sophia's body goes hot, then cold, then very precise. Is not working, she says, and the words have no wobble in them. Could be a donor meeting, Layla says. Her voice wobbles. Charity stuff sometimes needs privacy. Sophia is already out of the car. Layla curses, follows, hoodie strings flapping like white flags. The lobby is a piano wrapped in carpet, hush, polish, mirrored columns that double your mistakes. They hang back near a planter, pretending to be part of the foliage. Idris stops at the front desk, speaks low. The clerk nods, passes a keycard. The number display on the elevator frames him for a second as the doors open. A silver 8 glows, then vanishes. 8, Sophia says. 812. Please don't do anything cinematic, Layla whispers, which is how you know she wants exactly that. A woman enters from the side corridor, hair tucked into a neat twist, coat belted like a sentence. She doesn't touch Idris. She doesn't need to. Their bodies align without trying, an orbit learned over time. They step into the elevator together. As the doors start to close, Idris's gaze flickers outward, casual, practiced, and slides past the planter. For a breath, his eyes snare on Sophia's. The smallest flinch, like a broken electrical connection. Then the elevator swallows both of them. Sophia's heart punches at her ribs. Layla grips her wrist. We shouldn't. We should, Sophia says, and takes a step. The front desk clerk looks up. Guests only after midnight, he says, smile lacquered. Where? Layla starts, voice pitching for charm. Sophia opens her palm. Navy matchbook. Art Deco wave. She sets it on the marble, a coin on an altar. He left this, she says. We're returning it. The clerk's smile wavers, uncertain. He glances at the elevator bank where the numbers tick up. 6, 7, 8. Sophia doesn't breathe until the 8 is steady. In the mirrored column beside them, a woman stays back who looks like Sophia if all the kindness had been sanded off, leaving clean lines and corners that cut. The elevator chimes. Another car opens, empty, waiting. Sophia steps in. Layla swears under her breath. Follows, jabbing 8. The doors slide toward each other, soft as lips closing. Between the last sliver of lobby and the first slice of 8th floor, Sophia's phone buzzes in her pocket. She doesn't look. She already knows the message will read, emergency. Don't wait up. Or maybe, love you. Proud of you. The doors seal. The hum lifts them. Somewhere above, a hallway breathes, carpet quiet, walls listening. And down in the lobby, on the marble desk, the Navy matchbook sits open where the clerk couldn't help himself. Inside, a room number is scrawled in Idris's quick hand. 812. Chapter 4. Shadows in the parking lot. The elevator lifts them in a hush so complete Sophia can hear the soft click of her own tongue against her teeth. Layla stands beside her, hoodie strings twisted around 2 fingers like prayer beads. The floor indicator climbs, and then there's the carriage pause, that tiny, guilty hesitation before doors part on a carpeted corridor the color of expensive hush. 8 is long and straight, trimmed in gold, with sconces that pool light in ovals, bright islands separated by slow water. At the far end, a shape crosses one island, then another, Idris. His profile in miniature, cut glass, familiar and not. A second silhouette keeps pace a step off his shoulder, coat belted, hair wrapped tight. They don't touch. They don't need to. The air between them does the touching. Sophia holds back until the elevator doors almost kiss her. Then she moves, the carpet swallowing the sound of her steps. Layla pads after, breath feathering. Sophia, she whispers, think. Sophia is thinking, each thought a blade laid flat so it doesn't cut yet. Halfway down the hall, a door clicks open ahead, 812. Idris glances left and right like a man checking for weather. Then he and the woman slide inside. For a single heartbeat, the room's light spills across the threshold and cuts a paper-thin silhouette of 2 heads turning toward each other. The door closes. The bolt drops. 1, 2. Sophia's body doesn't ask permission. It keeps walking until she's in front of 812. The peephole stays back like a tiny, lidless sigh. She brings her ear to it. Hearing nothing amplifies everything. Behind her, Layla is all fluttering hands. We can't be here, babe. This is trespassing-ish. Record, Sophia says. Layla pulls her phone out, thumb sliding the camera up, the red dot ready to bloom. She points, palms sweaty, framing the door number, Sophia's jaw, the corridor's breathless symmetry. The red dot is not there. She's in photo mode. She taps to switch. The screen flips to the front camera where 2 frightened women, watch themselves confess in wide, shocked eyes. Layla fumbles, curses softly, flips it back, finally hits record, the red dot pulsing now like a wound. From inside 812, a muffled laugh. Idris's. It's the sound of him from their kitchen when a cork finally yields, from their bedroom when he is trying to shush his joy into her neck. Sophia's heart stutters. A spiderweb of heat cracks across her chest. Footsteps. Not inside, the other way. A security guard rounds the corner with a crisp notepad and shoes that apologize on plush carpet. He sees them, the way prey sees a flashlight. Evening, he says, professional warmth poured into a paper cup. Everything all right? Layla starts, smile cranked to maximum brightness. Returning something, Sophia says, dead calm. Left at the desk. The guard's gaze flicks to the 812 plaque, then to the lens in Layla's trembling hand. Hotel policy prohibits filming on guest floors. I'm afraid I have to ask you to lower that. Layla obeys, the red dot still bleeding in her palm. Sophia doesn't move. She can feel the door through the bones of her face, its cool promise that something on the other side is about to be proven. The elevator at the far end sighs open. A couple spills out laughing, carrying a silver bucket clinking with ice. Sophia steps back as if to let them pass, and the movement knocks her shoulder into the wall. The frame of a hallway mirror shivers, revealing the seam where it meets plaster. For a sliver of a second, the peephole blooms with warping light, as if someone inside pressed an eye there, curious. Sophia's phone vibrates. A message tiles the lock screen. ER blew up. Might be all night. Love you. Timestamp. 2 minutes ago. The lie arrives on time, well-dressed. The guard says, gentler now, as if he recognizes grief when it puts on a blazer and calls it self-composure. Let me escort you to the lobby. If you're returning something, the desk will see to it. Sophia looks once more at the 812. She imagines the room from the blueprint of every hotel she has ever stayed in. Entry niche, closet to the right, bathroom left, bed scented to frame a city no one is looking at. She imagines Idris's hands. She imagines a face tilted toward his, blurred by distance, but already wearing the shape of betrayal. She nods. All right. Layla drops the camera arm, and in the motion her thumb smears the screen. The recording stops without saving, swallowed by her own panic. Oh, she says, too quiet to be a word. The guard walks them back. The elevator delivers its practiced exhale. Layla stays at the floor, cheeks blotting. We'll get proof, she whispers. If that's what you want. Sophia watches the floor numbers blink down like a metronome teaching her a slower song. In the lobby, the clerk has moved the navy matchbook behind the counter. Neat, framed in a square of light like evidence waiting for a case to exist. She could claim it, pocket the shape that started this night. She doesn't. Outside, the air tastes like pennies and rain. Across the street, St. Jude's glass ribs glow as if nothing in the world is secret. Layla unlocks the car with a chirp that feels obscene. Home? She asks. Not yet, Sophia says, eyes on the hotel facade where curtains make dark maps. I want a timeline. A what? Receipts, Sophia says, voice steady. Everywhere he said he was. Everywhere he was. She takes out her phone and opens the rideshare app she rarely uses. Let's start with his Uber logins. The screen brightens her face into a mask that doesn't look like her. Above them, somewhere between 812's neat bolts and the S-curve ramp of the staff garage that never held Idris's car, a door snicks shut. Final, practiced, too quiet for anyone but Sophia to hear. Chapter 5, Stacking Strange. Sophia wakes with her heart already sprinting. Her husband's side of the bed is empty, sheets cold. The scent of aftershave faded into the pillow like a vanishing trail. She props herself up, staring at the ceiling as if answers are hidden in the plaster. Downstairs, the apartment hums with stillness. The mug from last night, scrubbed 3 times, still glimmers with the ghost of glitter if she squints. The matchbook waits in the drawer. The boutique receipt sleeps under a notebook. 3 fragments of a story no one is telling her. By mid-morning, she sits with Emmett at the kitchen table, the blinds drawn against the brightness of a city that insists on being alive. He scrolls through his laptop, pulling up a rideshare history he managed to sync from Idris's cloud backup. Look, he says, spinning the screen. Rows of trips, each time-stamped. Sophia scans. Drop-off, Riverview Hotel. Drop-off, Boutique District. Drop-off, residential block nowhere near St. Jude. Her throat tightens. He told me he was on call. He was on call, Imad replies flatly. To someone else. Her first instinct is denial, but denial feels like an exhausted muscle that can't carry weight anymore. She presses her palms to her eyes until fireworks burst. I can tag his car, Imad says suddenly, lifting a small round device from his bag. It's no bigger than a coin, plastic matte black, a single lead winking faint. Slide it into his gym bag lining. Won't show on scanners. Location updates every 5 minutes. Sophia exhales slowly. That's illegal. So is lying to your wife while he's spending nights in hotels. Imad snaps, then softens. Soph, you deserve to know. He's counting on you not looking. Her hand shakes as she picks up the tracker. It's weightless, but it feels like holding a verdict. She sets it down again. Picks it up. Sets it down. If I do this, she whispers, it means I already believe he's guilty. No, Imad says. It means you believe yourself. The front door opens. Idris strides in, hospital badge swinging from his pocket, smile ready-made. Imad, surprise visit. His tone is warm, practiced. He kisses Sophia on the crown of her head, then vanishes into the bedroom. Her pulse drums. She nods at Imad. He slides the tracker into the side pocket of Idris's gym bag with one practiced motion, like planting a seed. They exchange a look, silent, taut, irrevocable. That night, the app pings on Sophia's phone. Blue dot. Moving. Not towards St. Jude. Not anywhere near it. She sits on the couch in darkness, the only light from the phone screen. The dot pauses at a luxury condo tower. 20 minutes later, it shifts, gliding across the map like a secret written in ink she can't erase. The final stop, Riverview Hotel. 8th floor. Her chest constricts. She knows the number before she checks. 812. The glow of the phone reflects in her eyes, turning them into tiny mirrors of proof. She whispers the word once, to no one but the silence. Court. Chapter 6. Enter the investigator. Morning scrapes the night off the windows, leaving a thin film of resolve. Sophia hasn't slept. Her laptop is a grid of tabs, rideshare histories, card alerts, timestamps that won't balance. Imad sits cross-legged on the rug, a screwdriver between his teeth and a coin-sized tracker on his palm like a dare. This is illegal, Layla says from the doorway, oversized sunglasses hiding a mascara smudge. Or, like, adjacent. It's my marriage, Sophia says, voice paper flat. If the truth is illegal, I'll hire a lawyer. Imad clips the tracker to the seam inside Idris's gym bag where the lining doubles. He looks up, softer. You sure, Soph? No, she says, which is the closest thing to yes. Idris breezes through like a man caught in a gust of his own self-importance. Fresh scrubs, dehydrated smile. Huge day, he says, kissing the air near Sophia's temple. Board rounds, committee meeting. Might be late again. Don't wait up. He grabs the gym bag, oblivious to its new weight, and is gone, elevator doors swallowing his reflection before she can change her mind. 2 hours later the tracker pings. St. Jude staff lot. Another ping. 20 minutes on. A coffee shop he hates. Then the dots stop making sense. By lunch, the trail pauses in a neighborhood where rent receipts wear tuxedos. The Riverview Hotel blooms on her screen, a blue pin with secrets. Layla exhales like a balloon giving up. This doesn't prove anything. It proves movement, Sophia says, not medicine. That afternoon, a stranger buzzes the apartment, voice low through the intercom. Yasmin Siddiqui, here to see Sophia. The name carries itself like a straight spine. She's older than Sophia expected, all economy, dark blazer, practical shoes, a notebook that looks like it remembers everything said into it. No camera, no performative sympathy, just eyes that weigh facts and leave feelings to catch up later. I don't sell closure, Yasmin says, settling at the dining table. I document. If there's nothing to find, I will tell you that faster than a man tells you he fell asleep. May I? Sophia slides the laptop over. Uber receipts. Card alerts. The phrase room 812 scribbled on the back of a grocery list like a bad dream. Yasmin doesn't nod or make the noise people make when they pretend to understand. She starts a list. He claims ICU overnight. Hospital rosters. Sophia shakes her head. I don't have access. Yasmin opens her phone, taps with intent. I do. For the next hour, names and shifts and edits march across the table. Twice, Idris's schedule shows a clean night. Twice, someone has inserted a late consult after the fact. Metadata wobble like a poorly forged signature. Sloppy, Yasmin murmurs. Either he's careless, or someone loves him enough to risk being caught sloppy. Both can be true, Sophia says, surprising herself. The tracker pings again. 1742, Riverview. 8th floor. She doesn't need the number. She can feel it like a bruise when you press it. 812. Yasmin watches her face change. We go now, she says, already pocketing her pen. Layla hovers. Do you want me there? Sophia meets her gaze. In it, she sees every selfie, every deflection, every bright side that was actually a D2. No, post the Q&A if you need to, she says, and the sentence tastes like someone else growing a spine in her mouth. Traffic is a smear of red. Yasmin drives like a person who learned to tell the truth behind the wheel. Smooth, inexorable. I need you to know one thing, she says without looking over. Proof is a knife. It cuts a rope if you want out. It also cuts your hands if you hold it wrong. I'm tired of holding the wrong things carefully, Sophia replies. Riverview's lobby recognizes her like a place in a recurring dream. Same clock, same polite smile that hates its job. Yasmin shows a badge that is not a badge but reads like one. We're returning property, she says, sliding a photocopy of the Matchbix logo she printed from Sophia's phone, and verifying a welfare concern. Words like that open doors. The elevator accepts them, carrying both women up in manufactured calm. On 8, the carpet breathes money. At 812, Sophia feels the air cooler degree, as if the door steals heat. Inside, silence. That specific hotel silence that wraps everything in towel softness. Yasmin kneels by the lock, not to pick it, just to listen. She taps the peephole, a soft, polite hello. Nothing. Sophia's phone buzzes, running late. Love you. Proud of you. A second text rides its coattails. Grab my gym bag by mistake. Don't wait up. She looks at Yasmin, who writes something that is probably not a prayer and definitely not a compliment. A keycard rasps somewhere down the hall. Footsteps. The shape that rounds the corner is familiar and different. A mirror, sleek coat, tote stacked with charity folders. She stops, surprised to find two women and their stillness at 812 like flowers left on a wrong grave. Can I help you? She asks, voice trained for donors. Sophia's mouth dries. We, returning something, she hears herself say. Amira's gaze drops to their empty hands, then flicks to the door. Her face does a small thing, regret or calculation. Is not here, she says, too fast. Yasmin tilts her head. We didn't say who. Amira swallows. The elevator dings behind them. A couple's laughter spills, retreats. The hall resets its hush. Whatever you think you saw, Amira says, lowering her voice, it's a misunderstanding. There are donors who prefer discretion. It's in service of a cardiac wing. Sophia's chest tightens. Is the wing in room 812? Amira's eyes hold for one heartbeat too long. You need to go, she says, softer now. Please. Yasmin slips a card onto the floor, half under the door like a blade you can kick aside or pick up. In case you prefer truth to discretion, she says. They leave with nothing that can be framed, and more than enough to be believed. In the elevator down, Sophia watches her reflection stand between her and the number panel, like a bouncer. At street level, the tracker pings again. Stationary, stubborn, 8th floor. Yasmin pockets her phone. Tomorrow, she says, as if the word itself is a door with a code. We talk to saintly schedules and unsaintly metadata. What if is actually inside with a donor? Sophia asks, hating the hope that keeps trying to resurrect itself. Ben is the luckiest man alive, Yasmin says. Because tonight, luck is the only thing that kept your key out of that lock. Sophia turns toward the river. Wind combs the water into 1,000 small, unkept promises. Behind them, 8 stories up, a bolt slides, clean, practiced, the sound of a line being crossed by someone who has crossed many and called it walking. Chapter 7. The Plausible Alibi. Wind combs the river into silver static while the word tomorrow hangs between them like a bridge they haven't decided to cross. Sophia and Yasmin stand until the cold decides for them. When they split at the curb, the city swallows their silhouettes like it does all stray truths. Morning arrives with a brightness that feels rude. Sophia's phone is already aquiet. Missed calls from Idris, a guilt-heavy voice note, 3 texts dressed in reassurance. Late night. I see you actually blew up. I'm sorry. Habibti. Board wants me early. Coffee later. Love you. Proud of you. She reads each twice, the way you reread instructions before you assemble something fragile. Then she plays the voice note. Idris's tone is sleep-hoarse, tender. I hate that I left you alone. It was chaos, and I'm still in it. Please, trust me. Trust is a button she can't find. At noon, the door buzzer stutters. Sophia freezes, thumb still on an unread message to Yasmin. The intercom coughs up Idris's voice. It's me. He fills the doorway with contrition, scrubs under a navy overcoat, beard shadow thick, eyes soft like a doctor about to deliver good news. He offers a cardboard tray holding 2 coffees and a paper bag that smells like the bakery she loves. He has never once brought home pastries on a weekday. I know last night looked terrible, he says, setting everything down like offerings. I can explain. The word explain is a flare and a trap. Sophia steps aside. He enters, movements careful, as if their furniture might break. Before you say anything, he adds, I brought someone. The elevator dings again. Amira steps in, coat, tote, hair pinned with surgical neatness. Today she's armed with folders and a measured smile that forgives the world in advance for misunderstanding her. They sit at the dining table. Idris doesn't try to touch Sophia's hand. He places his palm near hers, a quasi-offer. Amira spreads documents with the tenderness of someone laying out ultrasound images. Riverview hosts closed-door donor reviews, she says. Confidentiality is non-negotiable. Suite 812 is assigned to a foundation liaison. Last night we met a couple whose child didn't make it. They want to build a space where families can say goodbye with dignity. She taps a page, letterhead, logos, a pledge amount that could crush a mortgage. They insisted on off-site. They don't want attention. Sophia's breathing slows to match Amira's cadence. On the table, donor intake forms, a draft endowment letter, an email printout with a timestamp that cosplays truth. The dates line up. Mostly. Why at midnight? She asks, hearing the smallness of her voice. Because grief doesn't schedule, Amira says gently. Because the father could only meet when his wife slept. Sophia examines the letterhead. In the corner, a watermark of the foundation's crest faintly overlaps the Riverview logo where ink bled from the printer roller. It looks messy enough to be real. Her pulse stutters, betraying her with relief. Idris leans in, eyes finding hers with practiced vulnerability. I'm sorry you felt scared, he says. You could have called. I would have put the father on speaker. I would have. You said I see you, Sophia answers. Not donors. He doesn't blink. I shouldn't have said anything. It's confidential. I was wrong to be vague. He inhales, lets it out slowly, a man auditioning for redemption. I get it. You found a matchpick. You saw me walk into a hotel. But, Habibti, you know me. I do hard things to help people who can't help themselves. It's a sentence engineered to be undeniable. It presses on every soft place she has. The front door bursts open on cue. Layla, ring light under her arm, breath hot with speed. I came as soon as. She stops at the tableau. Contrition, coffee, charity papers. Oh, a beat. Smile switching on. Okay, so, it was a misunderstanding. Sophia looks at Layla because her body remembers that this is where the friend nods and the world rights itself. Layla nods. See, is literally saving dying babies in secret, which is the most Idris thing I've ever heard. Yasmin's card sits under a magnet on the fridge like a quiet conscience. May I? Amira asks, tilting the folder so Sophia can see the draft naming rights. The Malik family farewell suite. The words collapse her a little. They are generous, calculated, unbearably sentimental. What about the shift edits? Sophia asks, clinging to a thread. The roster's changed after the fact. Amira doesn't flinch. We arrange off-book time for sensitive meetings, she says. Clocks adjust later to keep coverage clean. It's inelegant. It's necessary. Idris lifts his hands, palm up. I should have told you more. I wanted to protect you from the ugly parts of my work, and I made it ugly instead. The bakery bag waits, smelling like almond paste. Contrition perfumes the room. Layla leans forward. Soft, listen to him. This is your person. Sophia watches Idris, not his words, his micro-movements. The way his thumb strokes the coffee lid as if soothing a child. The way his shoulders slump an exact degree. The one he uses when he's losing a patient and wants the family to feel held. She has seen this posture save lives. She has also seen it close arguments. I need time, she says finally. Take it, Idris says, and something like triumph flickers then behaves itself. I'll send you everything. Emails, calendar invites, whatever you need to feel safe. He stands, slow, giving her space to recall if she wants. She doesn't. I love you. After they are gone, the apartment holds its breath. Layla exhales for it. Girl, you scared me. I thought we were about to go full Netflix. But hey, happy ending, right? She squeezes Sophia's shoulder with theatrical relief. Go nap. Tonight we celebrate not divorcing. When Layla leaves, the silence resets. Sophia cleans the table with small, efficient circles. The donor letter edges curl as they dry. She tacks them to a corkboard with a designer's habit of arranging the world into scents. It almost holds. Her phone buzzes. A message from Yasmin. How did he explain 812? Sophia sends a photo of the letterhead, the pledge draft, the naming rights. A minute. 2. Then Yasmin's reply lands like a pin. Neat. Too neat. Check the email headers. Printed timestamps lie better than metadata. Also, ask yourself why a donor who wants anonymity agrees to your family name on the door. Sophia lifts the draft again. Malik family. Pride wrapped in philanthropy. Her stomach tightens. Another buzz, this one from the tracker app. That had slept at St. Jude all morning blinks, moves. For a hopeful second, it points toward home. Then it lurches sideways, past their street, past the river, into a grid of boutiques and cafes. It stops outside a florist she loves, the one where Idris never remembers the name of her favorite peonies. A second later, a D2, cosmetics store. Then a jeweler. Sophia stays at the screen. Relief and dread braid so tightly they're indistinguishable. Layla's happy ending hangs in the air like confetti that won't fall. Another message from Idris arrives, sugary and precise. Dinner at 8? I want to make up for everything. Please let me fix this. Sophia types OK. She doesn't hit send. In the corner of the room, the corkboard waits, pinned with generosity and good intentions. On the fridge, Yasmin's card reflects a sliver of light. The tracker pings again, stubbornly cheerful. The dot settles in a building Sophia knows by heart. Not the hospital. Not the Riverview. Layla's building. Chapter 8. Apology Tour. Sophia spends the afternoon trying to breathe the way normal people breathe. But everything tastes borrowed. The donor folder still sits on her corkboard, edges curling like they're ashamed to be straight. Yasmin's text, too neat, burns through every attempt at focus. She keeps replaying Amira's tone, Idris's posture, Layla's chorus of C. Happy ending. It feels rehearsed, like a stage play she didn't audition for but was cast in anyway. At sunset, her phone lights again. Dinner at 8. Don't argue. Just us. I need to make this right. 8. Her body jolts at the number. She closes her eyes, sees it glowing above the Riverview elevator doors. The coincidence feels like a joke with bad timing. Still, she dresses, black blouse, hair sharp, a lipstick she never wears. Tonight, she wants armor, not warmth. Idris chooses a place with chandeliers too heavy for the ceiling, waiters who glide like priests. He stands when she arrives, all polished contrition, chair pulled, napkin folded across his lap like humility incarnate. "I know you don't trust me right now," he begins, voice dipped in velvet, "but I swear to you, every late night, every meeting, it's for us. For a future with no limits." He orders her favorite wine without asking, something he always forgets unless is performing. He pushes a small velvet box across the table. Inside, a pendant, diamond catching the candlelight. The missing receipt finds its body. "I should have given it sooner," he says softly. "I was waiting for the right moment." There's no better moment than showing you I'll never give up on us. Sophia's fingers hover over the gem. Relief should flood her, but it doesn't. It feels like a debt paid with counterfeit bills. Correct denomination, wrong soul. He keeps going, story after story of tired nights, dying patience, donors too fragile to face daylight. His words loop, a lullaby woven to cradle suspicion until it sleeps. He even laughs at himself. What kind of man makes his wife feel like a detective in her own home? Sophia manages a smile, thin as glass. She pictures Yasmin's pen scribbling, alibis love jewelry. By dessert, Idris reaches across the table, palm up. She places her hand there, mostly because every eye in the room is watching them glow under the chandelier. He squeezes, relief flooding him so visibly it almost wins her over. Back home, he lights candles, scatters petals, grand gestures is never attempted in their years together. "Fresh start," he whispers. "Erase the cracks." But Sophia sees the cracks glowing neon now. When he steps into the bathroom, she unlocks her phone. The tracker dot sits still, unmoving, at an address she knows by heart. Not the hospital, not Riverview, Layla's building. Her breath leaves sharp. She stays at the glowing screen until the bathroom door clicks open and Idris reappears with a smile. "So, fresh start?" he asks. Sophia nods once, hides the phone under the table, and lets the silence bloom between them like a storm waiting for thunder. Sparkles, end of chapter 8. 3,000 characters, Sparkles. Would you like me to push the tension harder in chapter 9? The bait weekend setup, or keep it more subtle, like the calm before the storm? Chapter 9, The Bait Weekend. Sophia doesn't sleep so much as rehearse. The pendant Idris gifted sits on the dresser like a bright apology that refuses to dim. Her phone glows with the tracker map, the dot that nestled last night at Layla's building like a cat that knows where the sun lives. At 6 a.m., she texts two people. To Yasmin, "I'm done guessing. Help me set the table." To Imad, "I need a weekend where nothing accidentally goes missing." By noon, the apartment transforms into a quiet operations center. Yasmin arrives with a zip case that looks like a first aid kit for truth, a discreet camera disguised as a smoke detector, a second hidden in a vent housing, a wafer-thin contact sensor for the bedroom door, and a motion-activated MIC that records only when a human voice exceeds a lullaby. She unpacks without narration, surgical. Imad gets the smart lock talking. "We'll log every entry," he says, fingers flying. Timestamps to the second, plus the exact device ID that triggers it. "No, I was just checking the mail," ambiguity. "Legal?" Sophia asks, not because she wants to back out, but because the question belongs in the room. In your own home, you can record as long as it isn't a private bathroom situation, Yasmin says. "And we'll keep the audio in common spaces. We're proving pattern, not making a movie." Layla texts twice during setup, bubbly check-ins that taste like syrup. "You too good? And then dinner soon? Need my people happy." Sophia types nothing. The cursor blinks, waiting to become either mercy or evidence. At 3, Idris calls with world-class timing. "How's my favorite genius?" he asks, voice wrapped in the gauze of yesterday's contrition. "They pulled me into weekend coverage. Can we rain check tonight?" "Of course," Sophia says, calibration perfect. "It works out. I have a short notice site visit out of town. 2 days. She hears her own voice and wonders when she learned to sound this steady. Travel safe, he says. Text me when you land. Love you. Love you, she returns, the words shaped like receipts. They make the apartment look normal, then slightly better than normal, the way a stage scene earns trust. Yasmin perches on a chair, studies angles. Camera 1 watches the entry sightline, door to kitchen. Camera 2 has the corridor to the bedroom. The MIC lives inside this ceramic planter. It won't record apartment hum, only voices. Imid, show me lock logs. He does. On a shared dashboard, the columns sing, opened by Sophia's phone. Opened by physical key. Closed. Relocked. He assigns labels to devices. Sophia's phone, Idris's phone, unknown fob that Idris keeps on his car ring. If he uses a spare key, Imid says, we'll see manual override with the keyway flag. And if he brings someone, Yasmin adds, we'll hear 2 voices. What if he notices the camera? Sophia asks. He won't, Yasmin says. People look for cameras where their guilt lives, ceiling corners. They don't suspect the smoke detector above a hallway console. At 5, Sophia wheels a small suitcase to the door and takes one last pass through the rooms. The home smells like fruit peels and resolve. The donor folder still curls at the edges on the corkboard, a theater prop that might yet win an award for Best Unhelpful Document. She leaves it where it is. Authenticity has a scent. She texts Layla a breezy note. Site visit. Quick trip. Back Sunday night. Hold my hand virtually. The bubbles appear, disappear, return. OMG, so excited for you. You work. Call if you need glam advice for clients. A second message lands with a wink. I'll check on Idris if you want. Make sure he eats. Sophia replies with a heart. The reaction feels like bait braided with silk. In the hallway, she locks the door, then unlocks it again, mimizing the feel. This will hurt, Yasmin says gently at the elevator, as if pain were a weather forecast you could prepare for with an umbrella. When it does, walk the plan. Don't improvise on adrenaline. What's the plan? Sophia asks, even though they have said it twice already. Do not confront in the moment, Yasmin says. Collect, secure, then decide how you want your life to sound when you say it out loud. Truth is not revenge. It's alignment. Imid hugs her, forehead briefly against hers. I'll sit the first watch, he says. You go out of town to the hotel down the block. He grins, a flash of kid under the beard. You're 5 minutes away if the world chooses tonight. Sophia spends the early evening in a quiet business hotel with a lobby that always smells like lemon and polite exhaustion. She opens her laptop in the cafe, pretends to make notes on her pitch, and lets the tracker map occupy a small square in the corner of the screen. The blue dot naps near St. Jude until 7:26 p.m., when it begins gliding across the map like a decision. At 7:54, the smart lock dashboard pings. Manual override. Physical key. Imid's text arrives in the same second. Someone at your door. Another ping. Door open. A beat. Motion. Entry corridor. Yasmin follows. Camera 1 active. Faces will be clear if the hood is down. Sophia's hands become colder than the coffee cup. She doesn't go. She watches. She counts breaths like they are beads on a string that keeps her tethered to a version of herself she recognizes. A still image populates the shared folder, a freeze frame captured automatically for the alert. Idris's profile in the half-light, the curve of his wrist as he flips the switch, the spare key glinting between fingers he has used to save lives. Behind him, a sliver of someone. Angle wrong to identify. A woman's laugh, faint, hits the MIC like a pebble skipping water. Layla's laugh lives in Sophia's muscle memory. She can pick it out of a crowded restaurant, the way some people can hear their name from rooms away. This one is softer, a little lower, wound with the thrill of being where you shouldn't be and believing you'll get away with it. It is also hers. Sophia's throat tightens so quickly she must sip air. She forces herself to watch the next still. Idris setting keys in the bowl, towing off shoes like a man who belongs here. A hand enters frame with a bottle of wine. The nail polish glitters the exact shade of a ghost that once refused to wash from steel. Motion, hallway. Motion, living room. Audio, Threshold exceeded. Layla's voice, bright but hushed. She bought the site visit? Idris's reply. Lo, she need to believe people like me are useful. Glasses click. A cork pops. A small, shared silence that sounds like two people smiling into it. Sophia stands, nearly topples the chair. She doesn't remember moving until she's outside, city air slapping the precision back into her. The hotel lobby tilts, too warm, too bright. She steadies herself against a column. Her phone vibrates without stopping. Emmett, do you want me to go over? Yasmin. Hold, Sophia. Not yet. We need continuity. Entry to exit. No gaps. Emmett again. They're in the living room. Yasmin. Recording is clean. We have it. The pendant on Sophia's collarbone feels like a weight meant to train her posture. She inhales until her ribs ache, then exhales on a count that should make the world less loud. It doesn't. At 8:16, another alert. Bedroom door. Contact sensor open. Then, closed. Audio spikes. Cloth on cloth. A muffled remark. A giggle she once thought she loved in a friend. Sophia leans into the cold of the glass door and watches her reflection talk her out of smashing something. She is almost calm when her phone buzzes with a new notification. Not from the lock. From the tracker. The blue dot stalls, then curves, and for a heartbeat she thinks she misread the map. But no. Emmett's text confirms what her eyes already know. He used your spare key. The one you keep in the plant on the balcony. Yasmin, timestamp saved. We'll pair it with footage of him reaching under the pot next time his hay. Pattern beats accident. The city rolls on indifferent. The business hotel lobby radio coughs up a love song from another decade. Somewhere, a couple argues about sauce. Somewhere, a baby laughs in a way that breaks and mends strangers. Sophia orders tea she won't drink and sits perfectly still, a statue of a woman choosing not to burn down her own life while it is actively catching fire. The feed shows shadows moving where they should not. The dashboard ticks its indifferent truths. At 8:47, the motion sensor sends one more note. Entry corridor, movement. Yasmin again. Position for exit. We'll want the face in the lens. Sophia's hands find her suitcase handle like a ritual. She doesn't race. She exits through revolving doors that finally teach her what it feels like to step out of a circle. On her way to the street, her phone lights with a new message. Not Yasmin. Not Emmett. Idris. Running late. ICU went sideways. Don't wait up. Love you. She looks at the lie until it becomes a shape she can carry. Then she steps into night, which has never felt more honest, and begins the 5-minute walk home, counting the squares in the sidewalk so she doesn't count the seconds between the last laugh in her living room and the sound she is about to hear. A key turning from the wrong side of the right door. Chapter 10. The door opens. Sophia counts sidewalk squares like rosary beads. 31, 32, 33. Until her building's awning folds above her like a dark wing. The foyer smells of stone and lemon polish. Her reflection trembles in the brass elevator door. She steadies it with a palm. By the time she reaches her floor, the hallway feels pressurized, air held in a fist. A soft metal gasp, her lock turning from the inside. She stops 10 steps short. The slit of light under her door narrows, widens, narrows, footsteps. A low laugh, Layla's, surfaces and dies like a fish kiss. Idris murmurs something that would sound loving in another universe. Sophia texts a single word to Yasmin. Now. The reply lands instantly. I'm outside with Emmett. Hold your position until I signal. We want the reveal framed. A second buzz from Emmett. MIC is clean. Siren armed. The deadbolt slides. The door opens a hand's width. A slice of her own living room stays at her. The console table. The bowl with keys that are not hers, the vase she picked in a market because a vendor told her it keeps lies from settling. Idris steps out first, face half-lit, hair mussed in a way a hospital never gives you. His eyes sweep the hallway on autopilot. To anyone else, casual. To Sophia, a search pattern. Behind him, Layla appears barefoot, heels dangling from one hooked finger, a smear of that glittering lipstick echoing on the curve of a wine glass she forgot to hide. Her ring light leans shyly against the wall like an accomplice that wants to be forgiven. For a fraction of a second, the three of them share the same air. Then Idris freezes, the practiced softness in his face evaporating, leaving something blade-thin and cold. Layla's grin stutters, fighting to find a new script. Sophia stands still because stillness is the only thing that won't break. Habibti, Idris says, assembling the word with surging care. You're early. Sophia's voice arrived from somewhere below her lungs. Home. Layla recovers first, performing surprise with professional Polish. Oh my God, you're back. Idris wanted, he was worried you'd be. Yasmin's text, on 3. Sophia doesn't move. 3. From inside the planter near the console, a small device wakes and coughs the sound of consequence. A piercing, metallic wail that leaps straight into bone. The siren fills the hallway, the apartment, the space between lies. Idris flinches, hand flying to the bowl where his key glints like a confession. Layla drops her shoes, leather claps tile. At the same heartbeat, every light in the entry blazes to white. Camera 1's tiny status LED, the only light a guilty person never looks for, kisses the ceiling. A pre-recorded voice, calm, female, indisputable, plays through the siren in measured intervals. Recording started. Unauthorized entry detected. This premises is monitored. Layla's eyes scramble the room for a lens and fail. Idris's jaw flexes, the exact muscle that always telegraphed when a diagnosis turned grim. Turn that off, he snaps, half to Sophia, half to the air. You can't. I can't, Sophia says. She steps forward. The siren threads through her and becomes resolve. You used my spare key. You lied about ICU. You brought my best friend into our home. Layla puts her hands up in the universal gesture for I'm harmless. It reads, to Sophia, like surrender with jewelry. Sophie, listen. It's not what it looks like. It's precisely what it looks like, Yasmin says, appearing at the far end of the hall, the elevator door sighing shut behind her. She moves like quiet certainty. Imid follows, wiry and vibrating with a rage is not big enough to carry forever. Idris's face recalibrates in real time, shock to affront to strategy. This is insane, he says, finding his courtroom voice. You set me up? Spied on me? In my home, Sophia corrects. Where my name pays the rent. Where my hands pick the plates. Where your spare key was under my plant because I trusted you with my evenings. Yasmin raises a small remote. The siren drops to a tolerable keen. The building breathes again. Dr. Malik, she says evenly, we have continuous footage from entry to now, plus audio. For your sake, please don't multiply your problems with new lies. Layla swallows hard enough to click. Yasmin, right? This is harassment. Sophia, tell her we're friends. A laugh escapes Imid, ugly and bright. Friends don't paint blood on the rim of a wife's cup, he says. Nice gloss, though. It filmed well. Idris steps towards Sophia, palms open, voice dropping into the tone that once talked families through storm nights. Habibti, I was scared you were slipping away. Layla was. She was helping me plan something for you. A surprise. The pendant, the dinner, the bedroom door sensor, Sophia says, and the words taste like iron. Open at 8:16. Closed at 8:17. Your surprise is very thorough. Color drains and returns to Idris's face like a tide. You've misinterpreted. Then interpret it for us, Yasmin says. Start with the text you sent 2 minutes after you unlocked her door. ICU went sideways. Don't wait up. Silence changes texture. Layla wraps her arms around herself. The ring light's white circle reflected in her eyes like a halo misplaced. Sophie. She tries again. Softer. The voice she uses on live streams when she wants strangers to mother her. We didn't mean. Meaning is a luxury for people who didn't do what you did, Sophia says. A neighbor door peeks open at the far end. The siren's echo has lured curiosity. Yasmin angles her body to block the view, keeping the scene contained. She taps her phone. The building's cameras have already spooled copies to an encrypted drive. Imid's dashboard pings. Door open. Door closed. The timeline pulses with receipts. Idris's last mask slips. What's underneath is not grief or guilt but annoyance at the choreography falling apart. Turn it off, he repeats, quieter, deadlier. Right now. Sophia studies him the way she studies rooms. Where the light falls, where the shadows insist, what is structural and what is cosmetic. She can almost see the person he will try to be in the next hour. Apologetic to her, outraged at Yasmin, soothing and manipulative with Layla, righteous to anyone who will listen. It should scare her. It doesn't. Step inside, she says, chin lifting a fraction. All of you. We're going to do this in the light. They cross the threshold because her voice leaves no other direction in the world. The camera above the console watches without blinking. The siren throttles down to a low, steady tone, like a heart monitor reminding you there are lines you don't come back from. Idris stops in the clearing of the living room. Layla, barefoot, mascara smudged into bravery, hovers at his shoulder. Yasmin moves to the TV, taps her phone, and the screen fills with a still frame. Idris's hand under the balcony planter, the glinting crescent of a hidden key, the timestamp branding the corner. The next clip auto cues, door opening, laughter, a wine cork's pop. The room watches itself commit itself to memory. Layla presses a knuckle to her lips as if she can push the sound back in. Idris doesn't look at the screen. He watches Sophia, searching for a seam in her. There isn't one. The siren clicks off. The silence that replaces it is objective and huge. Somewhere down the hall a neighbor's kettle starts to sing, domestic and absurd. Yasmin draws a breath to speak, to mark the moment legally, cleanly. A knock interrupts, precise, polite. Another sound slots into the frame, the elevator doors opening again. Sophia turns toward the entry, pulse abruptly foreign. Amira steps into the doorway, charity tote on her shoulder, eyes wide as a darkroom when the light comes on too fast. Idris, she says, stopping at the sight of the screen, the faces, the truth humming. They call from compliance. They. Her sentence fractures. On the TV, Idris leans in to kiss someone the camera almost loves. In the doorway, every story they rehearsed burns. Sophia doesn't speak. She lifts the remote and increases the volume one notch. Shut it off, Idris growls, finally losing doctor voice for the first time that night. No, Sophia says, and presses play. Chapter 11, Exposure and Fallout. The audio swells and the room obeys the truth on the screen. Idris lunges. Yasmin is already there. One small movement that clears his hand from the remote without touching him. Don't, she says, and the word has more law in it than a courtroom. Amira's tote slips down her arm. Compliance called, she repeats, quieter, as if she can rewind to an earlier version of this sentence. There's a report. Someone sent footage. Her eyes flick from the TV to Sophia and back. The charity folders look obscene in this light. Turn it off, Idris snarls, the syllables shaved blunt. This is a violation. Of what? Sophia asks. Your privacy in my home. She feels oddly merciful saying it, like offering water to a man who set the fire himself. Imid's dashboard chirps from his phone, clip mirrored to cloud. Another tone, secondary backup complete. Layla's ring light, leaning like a guilty moon, reflects a trembling circle in her pupils. Yasmin lowers the volume to human levels. Dr. Malik, she says, you should call counsel. Not your charm. Not a colleague. Counsel. It's not a threat. It's an evacuation route he won't take. Idris straightens, reconstructing posture like scaffolding. I am a physician, he says, reclaiming a title as if it can shield him. You cannot sleep with your wife's best friend in your wife's living room. Imid says, voice gone hoarse. Watch us. Layla finds a new script midday. Sophie, please. I made a mistake. I got caught up. The brand, the pressure. Idris said you two were drifting. Your brand, Sophia says, tasting the hollow sugar of it. She turns to Amira. And your donors. Amira flinches. The calculation leaves her face as something simpler arrives. Pity. I didn't know, she says to Sophia, and it rings clean. To Idris, not clean at all, you told me. Everyone, Idris cuts in, palms up in forced surrender. Take a breath. No one is sending anything anywhere. We are tired. We are hurting. Yasmin, you will hand over those files. Sophia and I will talk privately. He steps closer, lowering his voice. Habibti, shut this down. We can salvage. Sophia laughs softly, the kind of sound that has no humor left to burn. You don't get to use "we're like a life raft," she says. Not anymore. He reaches, slow, to cup her elbow. She steps back and the refusal makes a physical click in the air. A hinge resetting. The TV screen shifts to a split view. Yasmin pulls up, the entry timestamp paired with Idris's text. ICU went sideways. Don't wait up. The juxtaposition is indifferent and devastating. You don't argue with a clock. Amira looks at the time, at the corridor camera, at Layla, barefoot, mascara rained, and realizes what compliance heard in her voice when she answered their call. The threat of this already wrapping around the hospital. I need to go, she says. Now. Run, Idris spits, without turning. That always looks good. Don't, Sophia says, and a single syllable makes Amira pause. You were the only person in this room who told the truth when it cost something. Their eyes hold, not forgiveness, not friendship, just acknowledgement that one day Amira's name will be a footnote, not a stain. Amira nods once and leaves. Yasmin pockets the remote, notes something, then lifts her phone. Sophia, she says, softer, we should step into the kitchen. 10 minutes. Just you and me. Her tone is the kind that keeps people from fainting in fire drills. In the kitchen, the smell of orange zest returns like a memory that wants custody. Yasmin sets her notebook down. Decisions. Ready? No, Sophia says. And then, yes. Okay. 1. Do you want the hospital to have the entry clip and the text timestamp? Their compliance already knows there's a report. I can forward through a secure drop. It will trigger an ethics review and probably a leave pending investigation. 2. Layla's sponsors. 3 of them have clauses about moral turpitude and reputation risk. I can route edited, non-explicit evidence to their public PR inboxes. 3. Divorce. You don't have to say it now. But if you do, I can get you the name of a shark who likes facts. Sophia stays at her hands. They are steady, as if someone else is piloting. Yes to 1, she says. Yes to 3. She swallows. 2. Is that revenge? It's consequence, Yasmin says. But we can also do nothing there. Oh, wait. Sophia thinks of Layla's laugh solved like a riddle she never wanted. She thinks of young women buying lipsticks with the belief they are buying a life, and of an influencer who fed that belief while feeding on her kitchen. Wait, she says. For now. They turn, step back into the living room's stark noon of truth. Idris has set his mouth into a line that says he will endure until the world remembers it profanes him. Layla is texting with both thumbs, likely to a manager whose phone is lighting up like a crime scene. Sophia walks to the corkboard, peels down the donor folder, closes it. This remains here, she says, setting it on the table as if putting a prop to bed. As art direction, not as alibi. Then she faces Idris. I'm filing. Today. You will move out tonight. There will be a list. You will stick to it. Idris bays his teeth in a smile that isn't one. You think judges like women who entrap their husbands. I think judges like timestamps. Yasmin answers, tired of pretending her voice isn't a blade. And leases. And women who don't die of the slow poison of being lied to. He turns the full wattage of his doctor gaze on Sophia. We built a life, he says, velvet stitched back onto steel. You loved me yesterday. You'll love me tomorrow. I will love who I was, she says. And who I am. You're not in either sentence. Layla steps forward, hands trembling in a choreography she believes reads as contrition. Sophie, please. Let me apologize on my channel. I'll tell them. Tell them the truth, Sophia says. If you know how. It's not permission. It's a diagnosis. Yasmin's phone pings. Compliance receipt confirmed. Another ping. Imid's quiet whoop from the doorway. It's done, he says. The hospital has it all. Idris's jaw tightens. For the first time since the door opened, something like fear flicks in his eyes. Not of losing Sophia, of losing the stage. He grabs his coat with a controlled violence that rearranges the air. "You'll regret this," he says, because it's the only curse he has left that sounds like a blessing. "I already did," Sophia answers. They don't slam the door. They don't need to. The click is small and sovereign. The next hours move like honest weather. Papers bloom from a printer. A lawyer's voice arrives cool and specific. A locksmith is scheduled. Imad labels boxes, clothes, books, everything that isn't yours. Yasmin writes an email to compliance that will read, a year from now, as a neat origin story for a man's suspension. On Sophia's phone, notifications multiply. A sponsor posts a vague statement about values. Another pauses collaboration pending internal review. Layla's grid floods with comments that start as gossip and harden into indictment. She uploads a shaky apology, ring light dimmed, eyes damp. Within minutes, sleeves freeze-framed a reflection in a wine glass behind her. Sophia's living room, last night. The internet plays judge and jury with the footage no one else has seen. That will get removed. The memory will not. By evening, Idris's name appears in a hospital-wide email couched in passive words. Leave of absence, inquiry pending, commitment to standards. Amira sends a message to Sophia that is only 4 words long. I'm sorry. I voted yes. It's the uncomplicated kind. Hannah calls, Idris's mother, voice quilted with panic and denial. These women poison you, she says, meaning Yasmin, perhaps meaning Sophia. Family is work. Then do yours, Sophia says gently, and ends the call before grief reshapes into pity. She signs papers with hands that remember how to place lamps so shadows confess. When the courier leaves, the apartment is loud with quiet. Imad pulls on his jacket. You want me to crash on the couch? No, Sophia says. Go sleep. He hesitates. She smiles the smallest real smile she has managed in days. I'll be okay. Yasmin lingers at the door. Tomorrow you'll feel hollow, she says. That's normal. Hollow isn't empty. It's space. She taps the corkboard with the back of her finger. Fill it. When they are gone, Sophia stands in the doorway of the bedroom. The contact sensor, dumb and faithful, is a small white witness no one can cross-examine. She lays the pendant on the dresser, its diamond catching only the light she allows it, and closes the drawer. Her phone vibrates once more. A client. Are you still presenting tomorrow? Sophia looks at the room she built to be honest and sees it finally is, not because nothing is hidden, but because she knows where everything is and why. Yes, she types. With changes. She sits at the dining table under the clean hum of the overhead lamp and sketches. Lines. Light. Sight lines that don't tangle. A lobby that tells the truth the second you step into it. Outside, the city exhales. Inside, the apartment resets around its single occupant. Midnight edges the windows. On the corkboard, there's a fresh sheet of paper, and on it, in her neat, decisive hand, a title, Honest Spaces. The pen hangs for a beat above the page, then drops and makes its first clean mark toward a room with nowhere to hide. Chapter 12. Clean Lines, Clean Life. The expo hall breathes with light. Rows of installations shimmer like half-built futures, glass and steel reflecting the weight of ambition. Sophia stands at the threshold of her booth, palms cool against the wood she chose herself, oak stripped to its honest grain, brass fittings warmed by the morning sun pouring through the skylight. Above her display board, a title arcs bold and deliberate, Honest Spaces. She adjusts a lamp, just enough to sharpen the shadows. They retreat obediently into corners where they belong, not where they can hide. The presentation begins with a hush. Clients, investors, strangers with badges lean forward as Sophia steps onto the platform. Her voice doesn't tremble. She sketches with words what her hands already built. A lobby designed not to impress but to tell the truth, a space that refuses lies because light has no time for them. She shows drawings, models, renders, each one a confession that simplicity can still feel grand. Applause rises like a tide when she finishes. A journalist leans in with a question about inspiration. Sophia smiles, the kind of smile that is both armor and invitation. Life is a way of teaching you where shadows hide, she says. I decided to build places where they can't. From the corner of her vision, a figure hesitates, Idris. Not the Idris of hospital corridors or champagne lies, but a man suddenly smaller, his white coat traded for plain clothes that don't protect him. His mouth opens with an apology shaped like muscle memory. Sophia doesn't stop walking. She passes him as if he is no more than another shadow in a hall that has no place to cling. Behind him, Hannah lingers, her eyes damp with the grief of mothers who would rather preserve illusions than face the mirror. Sophia offers her nothing, not cruelty, not pity, only the silence that makes both possible. Her phone buzzes once. A notification from a client. A contract confirmed, deposit wired. Another buzz, a message from Layla. You ruined me. No punctuation, no gloss, only raw spite typed too fast. Sophia's reply is quicker. You did that. Sent. Archived. Deleted. She breathes. The air feels new, even though it's the same air she's been inhaling all her life. For the first time, it belongs entirely to her. Later, she steps onto the expo balcony, city stretching below like a map waiting to be redrawn. The pendant Idris gave her rests in her pocket, not on her skin. She drops it into the river from the railing, a brief glint before it's gone. No splash loud enough to be heard. No proof it was ever there, just a weight leaving. Sophia straightens, shoulders squared. The expo bustles behind her, voices hungry for ideas, investors hungry for futures. She turns back inside, ready to sell them both. Her life is no longer built on someone else's floor plan. It is her blueprint now. Clean lines, clean life, honest spaces. And as she walks into the light, the story ends not with a crack or a scream, but with a steady door closing, soft and final, behind the life she chose never to live again.